Across the tapestry of human history, few substances have held as paradoxical a place as alcohol. It has been a companion to our greatest celebrations, an elixir shared in moments of joy and communion. Yet, it has also cast shadows over clarity, veiled our inner light, and left a legacy of spiritual disconnection. It is both a bridge and a barrier, a balm and a burden. In ancient temples and sacred rituals, alcohol was revered, a gift of the gods, a sacred tool for transcending the mundane. But as time unfolded, its roles shifted. It became a tool not for transcendence but for escape, a means to drown the self rather than elevate it. How did this shift occur, and what does it reveal about our collective spiritual journey? Today, we ask a deeper question: how does alcohol shape the energy that flows within and around us? How does it influence the path of our spiritual awakening? In exploring its mystical roots and spiritual implications, we begin to uncover the ways in which our choices ripple through the unseen dimensions of existence. So let us pause and reflect. Are the choices we make daily, often unconsciously, nurturing our energy or dimming it? How do they affect our ability to connect with the deeper truths of our being? And what would it mean to see beyond the veil of illusion? The story of alcohol begins not with the clinking of glasses, but with the whispered secrets of ancient alchemy. The word itself, alcohol, traces its roots to the Arabic term alcohol, originally referring to a fine black powder derived from antimony, used as kohl to adorn the eyes. To the ancient world, this shimmering substance held not only cosmetic value but also mystical significance. It was seen as a distillation of essence, a reduction of the material into its most refined, ethereal form. In the laboratories of early alchemists, the concept of alcohol evolved. It became a symbol of transformation, of separating the pure from the impure. Muslim alchemists such as Jabir ibn Hayyan, known in the West as Jibr, perfected the art of distillation, giving rise to a substance that seemed to embody this principle of refinement: distilled spirits. What had once been a metaphor for spiritual purification now took on a material form, a liquid that could lift the veil of ordinary perception. But alcohol's story does not rest solely in the annals of alchemy. Across ancient civilizations, it was revered and feared, celebrated and warned against. In Egypt, wine was offered to the gods and consumed in temple rites, believed to open gateways to divine connection. The Greeks spoke of Dionysus, the god of wine, whose rituals promised ecstasy but also chaos. To drink was to flirt with both inspiration and madness, to dance on the fine line between transcendence and self-destruction. Even in these early societies, however, a duality emerged. While alcohol was embraced as a tool for spiritual elevation, it was also seen as a potential corrupter of the soul. Warnings appeared in sacred texts and cultural traditions, cautioning against excess. The Sumerians had their hymns praising beer, yet they also recorded laments over its abuse. The Greeks, in their reverence for Dionysian ecstasy, simultaneously revered Apollo, the god of order and clarity, underscoring the tension between indulgence and restraint. As alcohol moved westward, its uses diversified. It became not only a sacrament but a commodity. The mystical and sacred origins of alcohol began to fade, replaced by a culture of consumption. What was once a bridge to higher realms became an anchor to earthly desires, a substance stripped of its sacred symbolism. Today, alcohol is omnipresent, woven into the fabric of human society. It promises connection at social gatherings, solace in solitude, and even moments of liberation. But in this ubiquity, we must ask, have we forgotten its roots? What did the ancients see in alcohol that we no longer understand? Have we, in the rush of modernity, lost sight of the essence behind the substance? The transformation of alcohol, from a tool of spiritual exploration to a product of mass consumption, mirrors our own journey as spiritual beings navigating a material world. It invites us to question, is our relationship with alcohol one of reverence or distraction? Do we honor its power, or do we succumb to its illusions? Let these questions linger as we delve deeper into the allure of alcohol and the veil it casts over our lives. Why are we drawn to alcohol? The question reverberates across centuries, whispering through the halls of ancient temples and modern bars alike. Beneath the surface of our laughter, our toasts, and our quiet sips lies an unspoken longing, a yearning for freedom, for release, for something that transcends the mundane rhythm of our days. Humanity has always sought to escape the weight of existence, to glimpse beyond the veil that shrouds deeper truths. Alcohol offers this promise, if only for a fleeting moment. It loosens the grip of inhibitions, dulls the sharp edges of pain, and allows us to slip into a state where time feels softer and life less heavy. In its embrace, we feel lighter, freer, an illusion so powerful it has captivated humanity for millennia. But at what cost? Alcohol, like a master illusionist, creates a dazzling show. In its presence, we laugh louder, we dance boldly, and we connect without hesitation. Yet, behind this display, it quietly obscures the very clarity we seek. Like a veil drawn across the soul, it distorts our perception of self and others, creating a mirage of freedom while binding us to patterns of escape. In social settings, alcohol often acts as a bridge, connecting strangers, deepening bonds, and dissolving awkward silences. But is this connection authentic? Or is it merely a fleeting alignment born of altered states, dissolving as the effects wear off? The truth is, alcohol often masks the very discomforts we are meant to confront. It silences the unease of vulnerability, offering a shortcut to confidence, yet leaving behind a trail of unresolved emotions. On a personal level, many turn to alcohol not for joy but for solace, a means to drown sorrows, to forget wounds, or to quiet the restless mind. The ritual of pouring a drink becomes a form of self-soothing, a temporary balm for life's deeper aches. Yet, this act of comfort often perpetuates the cycle it seeks to break, deepening the very wounds it promises to heal. This is the nature of the veil. It hides, distracts, and seduces, leaving us with the illusion of transcendence while tethering us further to the material world. The spiritual seeker, too, is not immune. The desire to escape the burdens of the physical realm is deeply ingrained, and alcohol may appear as an accessible gateway to altered states of consciousness. But these states, while seductive, are not the same as true spiritual liberation. They are fleeting and often leave us more distanced from ourselves than when we began. In examining our relationship with alcohol, we must confront its paradox. It promises freedom, yet creates dependence. It offers connection, yet often leaves us feeling more isolated. It obscures pain, yet rarely heals it. In the light of these truths, we are called to ask ourselves, what are we truly seeking? Are we drawn to alcohol because it frees us, or because it helps us avoid facing the chains we carry? Are we using it to expand our awareness or to shrink from the vastness of life's complexities? And perhaps most importantly, can we achieve the transcendence we yearn for without it? The veil of illusion is subtle, woven into the very fabric of our habits and beliefs. It requires courage to peer beyond it, to confront the discomforts we often seek to numb. Yet, in doing so, we open ourselves to the possibility of authentic freedom, a freedom not born of temporary escape, but of lasting self-awareness. As we move forward, let us reflect on the role alcohol plays in our lives. Is it a tool for celebration, a mask for discomfort, or something more? And how might our choices shift if we allowed ourselves to see through the veil, to embrace the clarity that lies beyond? To understand alcohol's impact on our spiritual journey, we must first explore the unseen currents that flow within and around us. The human energy field, often referred to as the aura. This luminous, multidimensional web is not merely an abstract concept, it is the essence of our vitality, a reflection of our thoughts, emotions, and spiritual state. It connects us to the universe, serving as both a shield and a channel for divine energy. When the energy field is clear and balanced, we feel aligned, vibrant, and attuned to higher frequencies of existence. But alcohol, with its intoxicating allure, can profoundly alter this state. At first sip, it may feel as though our energy expands, releasing us from the weight of inhibition. Yet this expansion is deceptive. In truth, alcohol disrupts the delicate harmony of the energy field, creating distortions that ripple outward, leaving us energetically vulnerable. Alcohol's vibrations are heavy, dense, and dissonant. When introduced into the body, it lowers the frequency of our energy field, dulling its natural luminosity. Imagine a clear stream suddenly muddied, the flow becomes sluggish, its purity compromised. Similarly, Alcohol clouds the vibrational clarity of our aura, making it harder for us to access higher states of awareness and spiritual insight. This disruption doesn't occur in isolation. As the energy field weakens, its protective barriers begin to falter. The aura, which normally serves as a shield against negative influences, becomes porous, allowing external energies to penetrate. Many spiritual traditions and intuitive practitioners warn that alcohol creates openings through which lower vibrational entities or energies can attach themselves to the individual. This is not a metaphorical statement. It reflects the understanding that our energetic state determines the kind of vibrations we attract. The more frequently alcohol is consumed, the greater this energetic disruption becomes. Over time, the cumulative effects can lead to a diminished sense of vitality, emotional instability, and a weakened connection to the divine. The spiritual seeker, who relies on a clear and vibrant energy field to navigate the path of awakening, may find their progress hindered by these energetic entanglements. Consider this: every thought, every emotion, every action shapes the energy field. Alcohol, with its numbing effects, disconnects us from this awareness, making it harder to discern how our choices are influencing our spiritual trajectory. When under its influence, we may act in ways misaligned with our higher selves, creating energetic imprints that linger long after the physical effects have worn off. From a spiritual perspective, the clarity of our energy field is paramount. It is the foundation of our connection to higher consciousness, the bridge to divine wisdom. When we protect and nurture this clarity, we cultivate a state of receptivity, allowing the flow of universal energy to move freely through us. Alcohol, however, introduces noise into this flow, distorting the signal and pulling us further from alignment. The question then becomes, how do we preserve the sanctity of our energy field? The answer lies in awareness, recognizing the impact of every choice we make, not only on the physical body but on the energetic body as well. By stepping away from substances that dull our vibrations, we create space for higher frequencies to enter, enriching our spiritual practice and deepening our connection with the divine. Energetic clarity is not just a concept, it is a practice, a commitment to honoring the unseen aspects of our being. It invites us to ask, with each choice we make, does this action elevate my energy or diminish it? Does it bring me closer to my essence or pull me further into illusion? As we reflect on these questions, we are reminded of a simple but profound truth: our energy is sacred. Preserving its clarity is not a restriction, but a liberation, a step toward living as our most authentic and radiant selves. Let us embrace this truth as we move closer to understanding the spiritual teachings that guide us. Throughout history, spiritual traditions and teachers have spoken about the profound impact of our choices on the soul's journey. Alcohol, in particular, has been a subject of caution, revered for its transformative potential in certain contexts, yet often warned against as a hindrance to spiritual growth. These teachings invite us to examine not only our relationship with alcohol but the broader implications of living with clarity and intention. The mystic poet Rumi, whose words continue to resonate with seekers, offers a nuanced perspective on intoxication. In his verses, he speaks of a divine wine, a metaphor for the ecstatic connection to the divine. Yet Rumi also warns against the earthly counterpart, alcohol, which, he suggests, pulls us away from the true intoxication of spiritual union. Stay drunk, he writes, but on the wine of the soul. His words remind us that the euphoria we seek externally can often be found within, through deep spiritual practice and surrender. Similarly, Osho, the modern spiritual teacher, emphasized the role of awareness in the spiritual path. He spoke of alcohol as a substance that dulls awareness, reducing our capacity to live fully in the present moment. To Osho, spiritual growth requires a heightened state of consciousness, one that alcohol can obscure. He urged his followers to cultivate a natural state of bliss, untainted by external substances, as the foundation of true freedom. In the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda, the renowned yogi and author of Autobiography of a Yogi, alcohol is seen as a barrier to higher states of meditation and spiritual attainment. Yogananda described it as a poison that clouds the mind and disconnects us from the divine flow. He often pointed out that the vibrational frequencies of substances like alcohol are incompatible with the subtle energies required for deep spiritual practice. For those seeking enlightenment, he urged the cultivation of purity in thought, body, and spirit. Beyond individual teachers, entire spiritual traditions have long warned about the dangers of alcohol consumption. In Islam, alcohol is explicitly prohibited, with the Quran describing it as a tool of the devil, sowing discord and distraction. This prohibition is not merely about morality, but is deeply tied to the concept of spiritual alignment. By avoiding substances that cloud judgment and dull awareness, the believer remains better equipped to align with divine will. Similarly, in Buddhism, mindfulness is central to spiritual practice. The fifth precept, abstaining from intoxicants that cloud the mind, reflects the understanding that clarity is essential for liberation. Alcohol, by its very nature, disrupts this clarity, making it harder to cultivate the awareness needed to transcend suffering and illusion. These teachings are not meant to impose rigid rules but to guide us toward a deeper understanding of the spiritual path. They invite us to reflect on the ways alcohol interacts with our energy, awareness, and connection to the divine. Rather than viewing these perspectives as restrictive, we might see them as reminders of our potential, of what we could achieve when living in a state of full presence and alignment. As we reflect on these teachings, a question arises: can we reevaluate our choices through a lens of higher awareness? Can we embrace the wisdom of these traditions, not as dogma but as an invitation to elevate our lives? In choosing clarity over intoxication, we are not sacrificing joy but reclaiming it in its purest form. The path to spiritual growth is one of intentionality, of consciously aligning our actions with the deeper truths we seek to embody. Alcohol, for all its allure, offers only a fleeting reprieve, while the wisdom of these teachings points us toward lasting freedom. Let us carry these insights forward, as we prepare to reflect on the power of choice and its role in shaping our spiritual journey. The story of alcohol is, in many ways, the story of humanity's search for meaning, our yearning for transcendence, our desire to connect with something greater, and our struggle to reconcile the material and the spiritual. From its mystical origins as alcohol, a substance revered for its transformational properties, to its present role as a widespread cultural phenomenon, alcohol has always carried a dual legacy, one of potential and peril. We have explored its allure, the illusions it creates, and the ways it impacts the human energy field. We have reflected on the teachings of mystics and spiritual traditions, each warning us in its own way of the risks alcohol poses to our clarity, awareness, and connection to the divine. These insights do not call us to judgment but to discernment. The choices we make, what we consume, how we live, and where we direct our energy, shape not only our daily lives but our spiritual path. Alcohol, for all its seductive promises, often leads us away from the clarity and vitality we seek. To transcend its illusions is not an act of deprivation but one of empowerment, a conscious step toward living with greater awareness and intention. So, we are left with this invitation to see beyond the veil of illusion, to question the patterns we have accepted without reflection, and to choose a path of alignment with our highest selves. It is not about rejecting joy or celebration, but about finding these in their truest forms, unclouded, pure, and deeply fulfilling. As you move forward, consider this: what does freedom mean to you? Is it the fleeting release of an altered state, or the enduring liberation of a clear and unshaken spirit? How might your choices today shape the energy you carry into tomorrow? The power to transform is always within us. And in this moment, with this awareness, we can begin to honor the sacredness of our journey, nurturing the clarity and vibrancy that connect us to the divine. Are we ready to step beyond the illusions, to embrace a life of conscious clarity? The answer lies not in words, but in the quiet, deliberate choices we make each day.